now we have the ability, a powerful ability from a technology perspective to interact with our systems. And security needs to play a role in that to make it a positive experience in security, a seamless experience, so that what we do on a day-to-day basis with our sort of our consumer side of things will also translate into our business side of things. And that level of convenience, that level of positive experience, the end user is going to expect that with security as well. And so that has to be part of the design of security, and the platform of security needs to move to where the end user experience is upfront and center.
What's bringing it to the forefront are all these technologies that are in our hand. The iPhones, the Androids, with everything from the biometric reader to these mobile credentials that are now really picking up steam, with even the most technologically challenged folks adopting it because, you know what, this is way too easy. And when it comes that close to you, where it's right in front of you, it's in your hand, it becomes a bit of an interesting thing where it's right in front of you. You can see it, you're engaging with it, but it's an afterthought. You're definitely not thinking about it as a security device. It's coming more and more as convenience.
Become part of the experience of a building. Like if you think of like Disneyland, you walk through the gates of Disneyland and you're already in experience. There's costumes, there's characters, everything is part of the experience. Every door you enter through will become its own personal Disneyland in a way. Like it's and you want that experience to help them feel safe and secure. I mean, why wouldn't you want that? But also seamless.
I do believe the idea or the concept of how we understand security today will be fundamentally changed because of everything we've discussed, the integration, the hyperscaling, the pattern recognition. And I do believe it will be amalgamated, if you will, under this umbrella of risk, of which we all become risk practitioners.
Going to see organizations that do not have a security program now get one. And I would submit maybe security is not the right word. I would submit that we're probably looking at resilience, right? Because resilience is a little just more sexier to, you know, CEOs and CFOs. I mean, you when you say resilience, you're speaking of something like you're going to get money back from it, whereas security has kind of been, you know, it seemed like, you know, they got the guard with his feet up on his desk. But these resilience programs, they're so robust, and some of the things that they're doing, you know, monitoring Twitter feeds, that's a great example, right? There is no reason today that AI could not monitor and actively detect and identify and give you a whole report on an individual that's saying, I'm going to blow up XYZ company.
If you, in the electronic security world today, if you were to break it down into some very key type of technologies, video surveillance, access control, intrusion detection, right? All of those are, you know, parts of the ecosystem today that are, you know, evolving, becoming, you know, more integrated or becoming more of a single type of solution. And I ultimately think that those things will evolve and become a truly, integrated and self-sustaining system on its own. I think, you know, the technology is going to evolve so fast, and it already has, that some of the devices in each of those categories are going to become, non-relevant anymore, or they're going to become IoT related, and it'll allow for a single harmonious environment of this tech ecosystem. And
security has the opportunity to become more of a business enabler. So the more that security can provide bottom line results, as well as align with business objectives, both from a revenue perspective, that's going to help security from a workforce perspective be even more valuable. So examples of that would be security systems that now can provide data about the way spaces are being used. So access control systems, video systems, other sensors that might be within the purview of security and facilities, now play an important role to say who's here, how many times do they come here, how do we provide the best experience when they do get here, how do we notify the right people, how do we integrate with other systems, from visitor management and ways that we welcome guests into our facility. How does that play a role in our overall business objectives? Not only safety and security, but also from an overall branding and even revenue generating perspective.
Tell you, for example, we've had bad guys or bad actors who have purchased tickets, and we have found them via the ticketing system from a security standpoint, putting those measures in place so that every person that buys a ticket, and now that it's all digital and online, we can do that, but really utilizing that collaboration piece. Not just that ticketing is a separate entity. We'll call you if we need something or there's an issue. That should be woven into the fabric, and I hope it is as we continue to evolve. And by 2040, we should be working hand in hand with all entities using from a security and technology standpoint.
Hoping by 2040 that we have made enough progress on UX, on reducing friction, that security is not a burden, like security is not hassle, and that we help our children or the next generation to conduct transaction in person and online safely and securely, protecting their assets, protecting their privacy, protecting their property, protecting their life.
The expectations of our systems have changed, and as they go more digital and more enterprise software, that value proposition of keeping bad people out and people safe is sort of table stakes. It's a utility. That's why it's the space that we can command in a lot of ways, if we want to, is that it's a utility delivering high value. But the expectation is that it's going to be able to do more. And what that looks like is that's why we need APIs. That's why we need more integrations. We should embrace more standards. Maybe we will by 2040. But all those things to bring our systems into a larger value proposition that is needed, whether it's commerce, it's about user experience, whatever it might be, centered in security, but wrapped around experience. That's where I believe we will be, but we have to open up more and get away from what has been a feature being isolated is now becoming a bug. And I think it's upon us to change that because it's an amazing opportunity. So if everything stays the same by 2040, shame on us. And I will die on this hill that if we don't open up our minds to a much broader marketplace on that, somebody else is going to. And great, we may be, that $10 billion market with an incremental growth of 3 to 12%, whatever it might be. But we're talking a much bigger percentage opportunity of change if we want to command the space that we occupy.